2 hours before my wedding, my phone rang with a number I didn't recognize, and the first sentence from the other end made my hands go cold. Don't put that ring on her finger until you hear what I have to say. My name is Ryan Cole. I'm 32, and that morning I was standing in a hotel bathroom in Charleston, South Carolina, in a half-buttoned shirt, getting ready to marry Natalie, the woman I loved for 5 years. The voice on the phone belonged to a man named Corey, Natalie's ex-fiancé, the one relationship she rarely talked about, the one that ended 2 years before we met. "Who is this?" I asked, already knowing. "You know who this is," Corey said. "I'm not calling to ruin your day, Ryan. I'm calling because someone should have told you the truth a long time ago, and it clearly wasn't going to be her." I sat down on the edge of the bathtub, still in my unbuttoned shirt. "Say what you need to say. Ask Natalie what really happened to her sister's college fund." That sentence didn't make sense to me. Natalie's younger sister, Priya, had dropped out of college 3 years ago. Natalie always said Priya simply lost interest, decided it wasn't for her. "I don't know what you're talking about," I said. "Then ask her," Corey said. "Ask her before you marry into something you don't fully understand." He hung up before I could respond. I stood there in the mirror, tie still hanging loose around my neck, groomsmen laughing somewhere down the hallway, completely unaware that my entire wedding day had just shifted beneath my feet. I didn't tell anyone about the call. Not my best man, not my mother. I splashed water on my face, finished getting dressed, and walked out to find Natalie before the ceremony, breaking every tradition about not seeing the bride beforehand. She was in her dress, hair half pinned, when I knocked on her hotel room door. Her bridesmaids cleared the room the moment they saw my face. "Ryan, what's wrong?" "Corey called me," I said. "He told me to ask you about Priya's college fund." Natalie's face changed instantly. Not confusion, recognition. "That's not something you need to worry about today," she said carefully. "Natalie, we're getting married in 90 minutes. I need you to actually answer me." She sat down on the edge of the bed, smoothing her dress with shaking hands. "When Corey and I were engaged," she said slowly, "his family set up a trust for my sister's education. A wedding gift. Essentially meant for Priya's tuition, since our parents couldn't afford it fully. When Corey and I broke up, that trust legally stayed in his family's name." "Okay," I said. "That still doesn't explain why she dropped out." Natalie's eyes filled with tears. "Because after we broke up, Corey's mother pulled the funding. Priya was 2 semesters from finishing her degree. I never told anyone because I felt like the breakup was my fault, and I couldn't stand watching my sister pay for my mistakes." I felt the tension in my chest ease slightly. This wasn't infidelity. This wasn't a secret marriage. This was old, painful family history. "Then why would Corey call today?" I asked. "Why now, 2 hours before our wedding, telling me not to marry you until I heard this?" Natalie went pale. "I don't know." That's when my phone buzzed again. A text this time, not a call, from Corey. "Ask her what she signed 6 weeks ago." Natalie's hands trembled as she read the text over my shoulder. "Ryan, I can explain that too." "Then, explain it?" I said, my voice tighter than I wanted it to be. 6 weeks ago, Corey reached out to me," she said. "He said his mother was finally willing to reinstate Priya's education fund, but only if I signed an agreement acknowledging the original breakup terms. Basically confirming I wouldn't pursue any legal claim to family assets from our relationship. It was purely so his mother would feel comfortable releasing the money." "You met with your ex-fiancé 6 weeks before our wedding and didn't tell me?" "It was one lunch, Ryan. 15 minutes. I signed papers so my sister could finally finish her degree. That's it. I didn't think it mattered enough to bring into our wedding." I stood up and walked to the window, looking out over the courtyard where our 200 guests were already beginning to arrive, sunlight bouncing off white folding chairs. "Why would Corey call me today then?" I asked again. "If this was just about helping your sister, why does he want you to look guilty right before our wedding?" Natalie was quiet for a long moment. "Because I think Corey still has feelings for me. I think this was never really about Priya's tuition. I think he used it as an excuse to insert himself back into my life before I married someone else." Everything clicked into place at once. Corey hadn't called to protect me from a lie. He called to plant doubt, using a half-truth wrapped around real pain, hoping I'd panic and walk away without asking enough questions to see the manipulation underneath it. My phone buzzed one final time, another text from Corey. "Did she tell you the truth yet?" I looked at Natalie, mascara starting to streak down her face, wedding dress pulled around her on the hotel bed, 90 guests now filling the courtyard below us. I had less than an hour to decide what kind of marriage I was about to walk into. I sat down next to Natalie and took her shaking hands in mine. "I need you to tell me everything," I said. "Not the version that protects your pride. The whole thing, right now, before I put on that jacket." She nodded, wiping her face. "The truth is, I never fully told you how much guilt I still carry about Priya's education. I let you believe she simply chose to leave school because admitting the real reason meant admitting I still think about Corey sometimes. Not romantically, but with guilt, with unfinished business I never resolved. Signing those papers 6 weeks ago wasn't just about the money. It was me finally trying to close a door I'd left open for 2 years. And Corey knew that," I said. "He knew calling today, planting doubt in me 2 hours before our wedding, might make me question everything, including you." "I think he did," Natalie whispered. "I think some part of him has been waiting for a moment exactly like this one." I stood up, walked back to the window, and watched the courtyard fill with more guests. My mother, now visible near the front row, adjusting flowers she'd already adjusted twice. I picked up my phone and typed one final reply to Corey, then blocked his number completely. She told me everything. "We're getting married in 50 minutes. I turned back to Natalie. "I'm not marrying you today because I have 0 unanswered questions. I'm marrying you because when I asked, you didn't lie to protect yourself. That matters more to me than a perfectly clean history." Natalie stood up, mascara still smudged, and reached for my hand. "I should have told you about Priya and about the papers months ago. Not because Corey forced the truth out through some manipulation 2 hours before our wedding, but because you deserve to hear it from me on my own terms. We got married 50 minutes later than originally scheduled. Nobody in the courtyard ever knew why, except for the two of us. And eventually, my mother, who noticed my slightly red eyes and simply squeezed my hand during the ceremony without asking questions. A year later, Priya graduated, finally with her entire family in the audience. Corey never contacted either of us again. If you've ever had someone try to plant doubt in your relationship using half of a true story, I hope you remember this. The truth isn't always about what someone tells you right before the door closes. Sometimes it's about what you're brave enough to ask before you decide whether to walk through it anyway.